We're visiting today with Catherine Riddick, JD, CPA, who's in private practice and also an instructor for the University of Illinois Tax School. Let's just start off by saying, how long have you been in the tax practice world?
I have been in the tax practice world, at least 30 years. I lose track after a while, since I graduated from law school.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Do you have a specific specialty that you deal with in your practice, would you say?
One is real estate professionals. So I deal a lot with people who either are managing rental properties, or they're property managers generally, or they are real estate developers and they put together investment groups for partnerships and things like that.
And you practice in the Chicago area?
In the Chicago area, yes. I am, although with today's technology, my clients are actually all across the country.
In addition to your practice, I mentioned you're also an instructor for the University of Illinois Tax School. And how long has that been now?
I have been with the Illinois Tax School for a little over 10 years, I think. It's hard to remember exactly, something about aging that makes those things difficult. But somewhere around 2007 or 8, I joined U of I Tax School.
What do you think is the reason that you decided to teach in addition to your practice? Because most practitioners we talk with are really, really busy. And now you add on top of that the instruction time and preparation. Do you feel that's a value add to both your practice as well as the public?
So there were two driving forces. One is I love speaking generally, and I love the area of tax. And I find as an instructor, it actually keeps me on my toes and allows me to bring more to my clients. They always say, there's always been that adage, right, that says if you want to learn, then teach. So I have found that I've learned a lot more, both being around instructors and being as immersed as I am with the instructing. I love being around other practitioners. Getting to meet people all around the state, I think, is a lot of fun. I've actually had to travel away from Chicago.
So in 30 years of practice, you've seen a tremendous amount of technology changes, I would assume.
Yes.
Are you a person that embraces technology, and are there some certain specific areas that you're actually looking at growing into in the technology world?
So I'm a huge fan of technology, both in its the efficiency that it brings to practice, and I also, and yes, I am branching into a couple of new areas. I have a pretty strong belief that it's not good for our clients or for us to have a lot of communication in email. I find email almost to be frustrating, right? There's just lots and lots of junk. You oftentimes can't trust the PDFs that are coming in. So two things we've done. One, around the office, our communications are all through Slack, an internet-based communication system. So we use a Slack channel for talking amongst ourselves.
Is that sort of like instant messaging, or?
It's very much like instant messaging. It's a free service. Anybody can do it, and it allows you to have regular communications. You can actually keep the communication, so it's not like it shows up as a text message on your phone. So you can actually have a history of how the conversation has been, but it keeps it out of email. You know, one of the things you hear as you learn about cybersecurity and data breaches, some huge percentage of those data breaches happen because somebody opens an attachment to an email that they shouldn't have opened. So first, I get my staff out of email by making sure those communications are in Slack. That prevents an employee from opening a bad email that they thought was from another employee. Then I've also moved to client communications through an app that we subscribe to. That one's called Liscio, Liscio, and I actually have an app on my phone when clients communicate through there. For them, for the clients, it looks just like email, looks just like it, but I actually get those messages faster. You know, you think that email is an instantaneous thing, but it actually doesn't happen that fast. And then sometimes your email provider has to scrub the message that's being sent, and so it can take a while. If I have a client who messages me through Liscio, I get notifications right away. And I don't have to worry about whether or not it's a message that I can open, it's safe, and I know it's from a client because I know the only people that have access to my Liscio app are people I've given permission to communicate that way. So I love it. They can send me documents. that way, most people all across, so whatever age group you're talking about, most people have a cell phone. Most people have a camera function on their cell phone, and they can take a picture of a document and send it to me right through Lisio. I never have to worry about whether it's something I can open or not, and we can push their tax returns to them that way. They can sign their 8879s. There's, just a whole world of communication that doesn't require email, and I love that.
And I guess by the fact that they subscribe, for lack of a better term, then it's secure.
Absolutely.
It's not open to the public.
It is not open to the public.
Almost like a closed network.
Yes, and extremely secure. They've invested a lot of money. In the background, they will tell you that their data security is as safe as NSA. So their protocols are like NSA, and I'm very comfortable that it's completely safe. Yes.
30 years of experience in the tax world. What do you think the biggest challenge is facing tax practitioners, and maybe even yourself, going into the next era of your career?
See, it's kind of interesting because I think about it not so much the law itself, right? So I think that we have a good grasp of what it is and how to learn it, and those things change, and that's always been the case. I think that what's going to change more significantly is the way we do business. So I look at my son, my 30-some-year-old son, and how he does business in the world. If he can't find you on the internet, if he has to spend time with you on the phone, time with you in your office, he has absolutely no interest. He rarely, if ever, walks into a retail store. Almost everything he gets, he buys, and it gets shipped to him. And so, Tom, you know me because you've known me for a while, and I don't do interview type tax returns. I think that that's going to be an ongoing challenge for practitioners who've built their business that way, and finding a way to reach and do business with the generation that's coming along, those that are in their 30s, between 30 and 40, particularly if you're in large communities like Chicago. I just think more and more of them will be looking to find you on the internet, and they're going to want to be able to do business with you that way, not necessarily make an appointment and come in and see you. If you look at it, all professionals, so that there are some doctors that you can actually have an appointment with them over FaceTime, Skype, Zoom, and they'll diagnose and provide information to you, and you don't have to make an appointment. You don't go in and see them. It's all done right over your phone. I just think that's where we're headed.
We've been speaking with Catherine Riddick, who's an attorney and CPA practicing in the Chicagoland area and also an instructor with the University of Illinois Tax School. We really appreciate your insight and comments and wish only the best and continued success for both you and the program.
Thank you, and I look forward to seeing people on the road this fall at Tax School.